Welcome back to the CryptoLabs YouTube channel. One of our favorite tools, our go-to tool for finding liquidity pools, entering liquidity pools, setting ranges, looking at projections. We use this pretty much 90% of the time, along with DeFi Llama. There are some other tools we use, but we found Crystal to be, for the most part, our go-to. So I thought I'd show you how we use it, show you its capabilities, and just kind of poke around, and hopefully it helps you on your DeFi journey, helps you find better yields, better positions, helps you analyze positions a little bit better, helps you project yields with a little more accuracy. So we're going to have a little fun here. Of course, it is crystal.app. Now, when you first get on, it's going to, on default, be set to Ethereum for you. Typically, we don't like to play on Ethereum because unless you got, $5 grand or 10 grand to deploy, doesn't really make sense because the gas fees are ridiculous. Like you'll be spending 10 to 20 bucks every time you click a button. Even with 10 grand, that can really bite into your margins, into your profits. So we really don't use ETH much. I know David is in one or two positions that are super long-term. He's on the ETH mainnet, but typically we avoid it. So when you first get on, it's going to look something like this. Now you can select which chain you want to explore, BNB, Polygon, Avalanche, Arbitrum, Base, OP. We're going to use Arbitrum because part 2 of this video is going to be me actually getting into a position real time. Here in the UIG, we release a weekly report. Today's April 26th. So we release this report today. It takes over 20 hours to do, takes you about 10 minutes to read. And we highlight some really awesome positions, what's going on in the market, what's kind of going on with assets that fit some type of narrative from fetch to near to render to sold to BNB. We share some top positions, and part 2 of this video is me going to be exploring Pendle wrapped ETH. As you can see, we do a lot of analysis on it. We search for a ton of data, and we use Crystal to project the returns. So that'll be part 2 of this video. But for now, I want to show you how to use Crystal. So again, Arbitrum 1 or from anything there. Now, up top, it'll show you the best APR. So this is just the highest returns. Remember, we don't really just chase the highest returns because we're not chasing yields. There's no point getting into something if you don't know what this is and this goes to 0. Sure, you put $1,000 in, you're making 10 or 20% over 24 hours, but if it goes to 0, what's the point? So this is fun to look at. Sometimes some gold comes up here, but it's pretty rare. The best blue chip pools, we got some ARB DAI, we got some Pepe wrapped ETH, we got some wrapped Bitcoin ARB, wrapped BTC USDT, and Bitcoin USDC. Those could be interesting depending on how much TVL there is if you want to put your Bitcoin to work. And then we got our stablecoin pools, 26% on USDC, USDC. There's some DAI USDT. We'd have to investigate those, but kind of gives you a bit of a highlight reel up top. We rarely use the highlight reel up top, but sometimes you can find some juicy opportunities. So you can break it down to Uniswap, or you could break it down to all platforms. That'll include, of course, Trader Joe's, SushiSwap, Pancake, Camelot, and Uniswap. You can adjust the TVL. We typically have a rule of at least $250,000 in total value locked in the pool, although it's not a hard and fast rule. It's typically a rule of thumb. Then once we're actually searching for positions, we can organize through APRs. I mean, TIA wrapped ETH is doing beautifully. This is something we've been playing with for literally months, and we wrote a lot of the TIA up. Now, I mean, TIA is pretty volatile, but there's still opportunity there. We've got wrapped Bitcoin USDC, 132%. TVL is a little low. We'd have to investigate that further, but you get the point. You can start searching for the diamonds in the rough. You could go by TVL if you want. You could go by volume, like 65% and 74% on USDC and ETH. $96 million of volume and $32 million of volume coming through. Pretty cool. Of course, there's more than just one chain. Avalanche does have some opportunities on it as of right now. This wrapped AVAX USDC is something we've played with for a very long time. During the bear market, I was earning AVAX, stacking AVAX. Now I got over 20K of AVAX stacked. Pretty cool. But you get the point. Now, let's just get into something random here. Let's just say on the base mainnet, which has some of the juiciest opportunities right now. We don't chase yield. Please remember that. We don't just go highest yield and give me the most and the most, because you're going to get wrecked at some point. It's got to be a balance between juicy yields, strong fundamentals, etc. But this wrapped ETH arrow, prime example, $2.8 million of volume, 1.3 million in TVL. Let's click on this and I'll show you how cool this is. There we go. So it'll give us a little history. We can see where things have been at. It's helping us select support and resistance. Again, you don't want to just blindly go off this, but it's loosely helping you find support resistance since March. So March, April, loosely helping you find them. Again, nothing you want to fully trust at face value, but it does a pretty good job of it. You can look at the history of TVL, of the volume, of the fees, etc. Now, as you select a range, you'll see it kind of slide around and give you a bit of a visual representation of what it is we're doing here. And as you're doing that, and again, you don't want to just blindly use this, but it could help you select what it thinks is the best narrow. So it's finding some support resistance on the charts here, and it's actually doing a pretty good job right now. You could go full range or the best wide position, which by default, I believe it gives you this. It also gives you a chart of the liquidity distribution. This is where most of the liquidity is being used up right now. And because we're in concentrated liquidity, this is important to know. So if I go super narrow, if I go 14% down and 5% up, I'm just playing with random numbers here. You can see your estimated 24-hour earning or your estimated monthly earning is going to adjust with it. So right now we're looking at 35% with this range based upon the historical data that Crystal has for us. How cool of a tool is this? And it's free, by the way. You don't have to pay a dime. Now, the more we slide around, the more you'll see these estimations start changing. This is where people go wrong and they get a little greedy. They're like, well, I can make $2,681, but I'll probably be in range for about a split second, depending on how volatile the pair is, of course. So ultimately, that's up to your strategy and how you want to set up your ranges. But just to make this easy, let's say we set a range somewhere around here. We're going to earn 559 or 55%. This is very aggressive, by the way. I don't recommend this, but I just want to show you how easy this is. When you go add liquidity, you can zap in your liquidity, and I'll show you in part 2 of this video. It'll probably be called how to use Crystal to open liquidity pool or something like that. Just keep your eyes open for it. But you can zap it in, and it'll zap it in directly to Uniswap, just like Aperture would do, right? Pretty cool, pretty convenient, and Crystal has some great tracking features as well. So hopefully this video is starting to show you how cool this tool is, and you can use it for research or at least finding positions. You can use it to start your research, and you can use it to set your ranges, have a visual representation of it, and then actually get into that position, track that position, earn fees, and exit that position all in one platform, all in one DApp here, which is pretty dang cool if you ask me. And DeFi is moving so fast that there's more and more of these tools available, and they just keep getting better. With that said, stay tuned for part 2. We're going to be going through this week's investor report, and we're going to be selecting one position based on all the data and all the research and all the analysis that has been done through this report. By the way, you get 3 new positions when you join the UIG every single week. It's in here. Actually, it's in here. My bad. We actually have the end of week call happening right now. It's a live call that happens at the end of every week, as you can see. Pretty bumping. And we're going through the team's top favorite positions right now. All of my positions, from the Velos to Raptis to Neons to Fetch, Colin's positions, David's positions, etc. Pretty awesome. Here on the main dashboard, you'll find all of our end of week reports ranging from literally months ago. And you'll see a lot of these positions were called super early, which is pretty cool. Which is really cool. And again, we do all the analysis on it. We try to find the ranges, and you'll notice we use Crystal often to help understand what our fees could be. Remember, it's pulling data based upon its history. So the fees can change, but it's pretty accurate. So that's that. With that said, I'm going to move my mug in the middle. I hope this video was valuable to you. I will leave some more videos on the four corners of the screen. Stay tuned for part 2 as we actually get into something together. And with that said, we'll see you in the next. Peace.